Hello, my name's Zed Bias, aka Mad Slinky, and you're watching Cable TV. Many moons ago, I used to work as a security at the Sanctuary in Milton Keynes. Walking through the Sanctuary, it was apparent like what bass lines were doing to people. From there, I sort of got inspired to, instead of search ravers, make them dance. I sort of saved my pennies up, blew off all my mates, sat there and made friends with my sampler for about a year. Started making what I've called back then breaks, but people were calling it two-step. A friend of mine owned a record shop and I moved above it. We decided after about 6 months of that to try a track out together. His friend was running a label, an offshoot of DMC called Stress. He signed us for an EP and then for another single. That sort of brought me up to my first sort of garage efforts and starting Sidewinder, which was my first label. My musical influences have always sort of strayed from the norm at the time. All my mates were into rave, techno and stuff like that around the time I was leaving school. And I was into New Jack Swing, soul and jazz. Used to get constantly ribbed about it from my mates. I'm sort of glad in retrospect that I did sort of come up listening to that. A lot of that was really from my mum buying me early sort of Motown stuff, Michael Jackson when I was a kid and stuff. It sort of turned me onto that sound. I've gone back and I've sampled a lot of those records that I collected back in the day. It sort of paid homage to a lot of the people that have inspired me. Herbie Hancock, Roy Ayers, Weldon Irving Jr., Airto Moreira. DJ Crust back in the day was a huge inspiration. The tune Jazz Note is pretty much my first sort of template that I followed making music. Even to now, I've got inspirations around me now. Loefah as a geezer is pretty inspiring, and he sort of provided me a platform so I could be creative in 2013. I know that I can always go a little bit deeper with Swamp 81. The first time I played music in front of people was in a little working man's club on an estate in Milton Keynes. Took a few of my jazz funk and rare groove 12s up there, a few reggae 12s. There was about 5 people in the club. I'm pushing out the label called Biasonic. We're going to be doing tours in UK and Europe this year. It's going to be exciting really, because not only have I got another outlet for my own production, but I've got a few people in the wings waiting, to come through. They've got some great stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting year.